This is Paul Turner, the Immigration Barrister at Imperium Chambers. Today I'm bringing you an immigration update on the COVID pandemic and the new Home Office guidance. The Home Office on the 1st of March issued new guidance to migrants who are in the United Kingdom, both with leave and without leave, resulting from the coronavirus pandemic and the problems that it's caused. The new guidance was issued on the 1st of March 2021 and replaces the previous guidance and remains current as of today's date. I've done a number of other previous videos. There have been slight changes. It is vital, and this I cannot stress enough, it is vital that if you want to stay in the United Kingdom, you know what I'm going to say. However, my advice is that before making any application, please feel free to contact me to ensure that it's done properly, because if you don't do it properly, the Home Office may refuse it and treat you as an overstayer, which will have dramatically bad effects for you in the future. The key points of the new Home Office guidance is that the Home Office, rather ridiculously in my view, expects you to leave the UK where possible. Given the number of flights and countries, that's not really a viable option. Or alternatively, to regularise your status in the United Kingdom, hence the need to come and see me or another lawyer. The Home Office is allowing everyone to access UK visa and immigration services as they are and we are considered an essential public service, and will continue to operate safely under local, national restrictions. So as I say, immigration still remains a live issue, and it's important that you regularise your status as soon as possible. However, if you intend to leave the UK but have not been able to do so, and you have a visa that expires between the 1st of March 2021, 31st of March 2021, you may request additional time to stay, known as exceptional assurance, and this is an important category. This used to be done on a form, but is now done on an email. You can find that on the gov.uk website. It needs to be done properly, and the Home Office requires a fair amount of evidence to prove that you cannot leave. Not simply an assertion that you can't isn't likely to be successful. Exceptional assurance is important, as during the application for it, and if you get it, you can enjoy the current benefits of your leave so that you can carry on working or studying if you were able to before. Also, during the application and any exceptional assurance, no adverse, which means enforcement action, will be taken against you. However, exceptional assurance is a strange category, as it does not extend leave, it doesn't extend your visa, and it doesn't extend your leave under Section 3C, but it is an effective protection against being treated as an overstayer, as the government has said in the past. What is important is that if you were previously granted exception assurance and you think, well, that's it, that's not right. If it expires, you'll need to apply again and provide again reasons as to why you can't leave the United Kingdom, again to avoid becoming an overstayer. Now, turning to those who wish to remain in the United Kingdom, first of all, you must do it as soon as possible. You must go and see someone, see me, make the application. If you do decide to make the application from the United Kingdom, you can make an application from within the UK, whereas you would normally have to go home and make the application, such as if you married somebody in the United Kingdom, they would normally expect you to go back and reapply. So that is a big concession. But again, you'll need to show why you can't go back and to ensure that you have the best possible chance of success. As to students and Tier 2 workers, they can start their work and study pending the outcome of their application, which is good news. As to overstayers, and this is a vital point, if your visa or leave expired between the 24th of January 2020 and 31st of August 2020, there will be no future adverse consequences if you didn't make an application to regularise your status during this period. So this is an effective amnesty for people who've overstayed during that period. So it's an important concession, and one that any lawyer, if they're making an application, should refer to. However, if you have not applied to regularise your stay, or you haven't made an application for exception assurance, you must, according to the Home Office, make arrangements to leave the UK, which makes it even more important that you get in touch with me or another lawyer to try and regularise your status or apply for exception assurance as soon as possible. Also, as immigration and visa services are considered an essential service, you can still travel to attend your appointment and enrol your biometrics. So the government, you can't delay matters on the basis that you can't travel because of the lockdown. Coming to more sort of more boring but vital elements, most English language centres have opened, so please do the test if you need to. In the past they were shut and exceptions were made. However, now no certificate is likely to mean a refusal, and that's going to cause you problems as you'll become likely an overstayer. For tier 1 entrepreneurs, you will no longer need to employ at least 2 people for 12 consecutive months. The 12-month period you're required to employ someone can be made up of multiple jobs across multiple different months, but it must equate to 2 full-time jobs. If you're a startup visa and your business has been affected or disrupted, obviously startups are going to have real problems during the coronavirus, you can apply for an additional period of 12 months leave. This will hopefully allow your startup to get going and develop your business against your agreed business plan. Turning to the NHS workers, who are the real heroes of all of this, migrants that are involved or work for the NHS are being treated with a degree of leniency from this government, but it has to be dealt with carefully, as again to avoid refusals or being treated as an overstayer. If you work in healthcare and your visa expired between the 1st of October 2020 and 31st of March 2021, you may be eligible for a free extension for your visa. If you're eligible, your dependents could also get their visas extended for a year. And surprise, surprise, you won't have to pay the immigration and health surcharge. I mean, it would be rather perverse to expect you to. Also, you can work at any NHS hospital during the coronavirus pandemic, as long as your sponsor maintains its sponsorship duties. But the sponsors don't need to notify the UKVI that you're working in 2 different hospitals. So there's a degree of leniency there. You're also able to carry out any supplementary work in any role at any skill level during the coronavirus outbreak. There is no restriction on the number of hours that you can do. That means that if you have a job in a hospital but then you're offered a job doing something else, you can do it and you're not going to be in breach of your leave. There is also no longer a limit on the number of hours that people can volunteer or work if you're a student or somebody under a limited leave to remain. And lastly, and I put this lastly, no surprise here that if you're working on coronavirus research and a scientist, you could apply for the Global Talent Visa, UK using the government's system. So in short, the most important thing is exception assurance. It is making sure that you make the application and that your exception assurance essentially continues like your leave, so there are no big gaps, except for the periods between January and August 2020 where they will overlook periods of overstaying. I mean, these are the key elements. In short, you either need to leave the United Kingdom or you need to make an application to remain, either for a short-term period under exception assurance or alternatively a proper application, and explain why, if you were required to go home, why you can't go home. The rules are fairly complex in any event. They're made more complex by this guidance, and I'd advise you to either contact me or your other legal advisor, a competent one, to make sure that you don't become an overstayer. I keep saying the word overstayer because to become an overstayer is, in today's climate, going to be almost fatal to any future applications. I'm sorry if this video has gone on for longer than normal, but this is my regular coronavirus update, and I like to cover as many topics as I can without hopefully putting you to sleep. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. This is Paul Turner, the Immigration Barrister at Imperium Chambers.